is parsing signal from static. As the University of Nebraska-Lincoln's point person for groundwater monitoring, Young oversees the pulse of Nebraska's groundwater levels. And his preliminary physical is the first to capture that pulse in the wake of 2012's debilitating drought.
Most of these wells have seen record declines from the spring of 2011 to the spring of from the spring of 2012 to the spring of 2013.
Young recently co-authored a preliminary report on statewide groundwater level changes following the drought. In some areas, like the Elkhorn River Basin in Nebraska's northeast, the link between surface water and groundwater is highly visible. This has opened doors for the Upper Elkhorn Natural Resources District, or NRD, to regulate irrigation development.
So for the last 5 years, we have been controlling irrigation development at a rate of 2,500 acres per year.
The Upper Elkhorn NRD is based in O'Neill, where an abundance of water is rivaled by a pride of place.
Pivot circle.
Tom Riley's livelihood is to pinpoint and help steward this rich natural resource.
You get into the western part of our district, we have saturated thickness of 300-400 feet. And the water table is sitting, in some places, it's sitting right at the surface.
Looking down at that surface is revealing. 6 decades of irrigation development have reshaped both the landscape and livelihoods of rural Nebraska. And the recent drought has brought into even sharper focus the balance between water's supply and its demand.
We had 2,500 acres available, and we had 11,500 applied for. And that was a dramatic increase from past years. So there was a lot of interest in irrigating new land.
For Dennis Sheets, the drought's impact on livestock should not be discounted.
I'm really concerned right now about the ranchers being able to maintain their lifestyle, because some people have had to reduce their cow herds because their pastures cannot sustain the livestock rates per acre that they did last year.
Pasture is hard to come by 140 miles southeast in York, Nebraska, home to row crops and the Upper Big Blue Natural Resources District.
And the most groundwater irrigated land in Nebraska is here at the Upper Big Blue Natural Resource District of over 1 million acres. We have about 15% of the state's total irrigated land here in this natural resource district.
Despite using twice the average amount of groundwater for irrigation last year, Turnbull cautions against impulsive reactions.
If all of a sudden we came in here and tried to set regulations, we would have a severe political reaction against us. People don't react that fast to change. You have to work with them over a long period of time. It's taken us a generation to get where we're at, literally a generation.
By this, so down at the end of this cable, 100 foot or so down the well, there's a little...
Back in Lincoln, Aaron Young measures water levels in a recorder well. This fall, Young and colleagues will assimilate readings from across the state in their annual groundwater level report. The report will not answer all of the questions raised by the drought, but it may help clarify trade-offs.
And at some point we're going to have to start questioning, should we be growing corn in these really arid areas? It brings up the question, though, of what do we do? As a society, we have to make some choices, some land use choices on what we're doing with this land.
On the ground, Nebraska's irrigated corn yields reached near record highs last year, highlighting the indispensability of groundwater in a changing climate. But below the ground, Young's data tell a deeper story about our ever-changing water balance.
There is a limit to how much irrigation we can develop. and still maintain these other ecosystems.